More than 24 House Republicans are reportedly preparing to write a letter to President Biden to end his re-election effort if he continues to be shaky.
Republicans, why now? Democrats, like y'all didn't know this the whole freaking time until he embarrassed y'all on stage. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my channel, Modern Renaissance. Man, I am Ty Smith. Thank every last one of you guys for checking out my channel. Make sure you hit this right here so that this video can be circulated within the YouTube algorithm, but it also keeps the content like this consistently being recommended to you. Also, don't forget to follow me on our platforms above and below. Lastly, double check to make sure that you still are subscribed, all right? Appreciate it. Guys, I know I just did a video on Biden already, but I got to show y'all this. I have to, because I want to drive this point home, just like when I get back on what the Supreme Court did. Woo, y'all. Look, listen, I'm sorry. I'm different. I'm not just going to be, I'm going to take the high road and just be like, No, I'm about to say, I told you so. I'm about to, that open wound that you guys are feeling, I'm about to pour Himalayan salt in it. I want it to burn. I might pour magnesium and potassium in it too to make it burn even more. And if your wound is healed, I'm going to peel the scab back off of it and pour more Himalayan salt and rub it in. I want it to burn. Yes, we've been knowing for freaking dang on months. We've been knowing for months, years, that this train wreck of Biden has been going the way it's been going. It's nothing new. What gets me is that all of a sudden they feel that some of y'all are so stupid that they can tell you anything about President Biden and y'all believe it. President Biden can sit there, well, that's not true, and that's all the pressure. You know the thing. You know, we gonna tell him real women curb championship film all coming. That's not stuttering. Then the blank face that he does a lot. When you lose your train of thought, then you don't even go, I was gonna go in there, and whatever. Anyway, come on, man. His words. Yeah. Anyway, my thing is that I said that they feel that they think that you guys are so stupid that some of you may be, I'm not throwing no hate at y'all. Some of you may be stupid enough to believe that this is just now an issue. What you saw the debate is just now an issue. Oh, because TV says so. But they're turning on him. They're turning on him. It ain't that they're turning on him. It's just that this was the plan. Anyway, when I mentioned earlier that the why now Republicans and Democrats, come on now, y'all already knew this. This is why.
Well, and on this July 3rd, we start with a Fox News alert. More than 24 House Republicans are reportedly preparing to write a letter to President Biden to end his re-election effort if he continues to be shaky.
So this comes as a pair of congressional Democrats publicly declare they have no confidence in Biden's ability to win and serve another term.
Doug Lazater is live in Washington with all the details here. Hi, Doug.
Good morning, everyone. The president may be in danger now of a widespread revolt among Democrats. Here's what Reuters is now reporting. There are 25 Democratic members of the House of Representatives preparing to call for Biden to step aside if he seems shaky in coming days, according to one House Democratic aide. There is reportedly a staff meeting at the White House as something of a morale booster. And later, the president today will meet with a group of Democratic governors, hoping to convince them that he is capable of serving as president and defeating former President Donald Trump in November. At the same time, there are some cracks now emerging in that wall of support that we have seen from elected Democrats after the president's disastrous debate performance last week. Texas Congressman Lloyd Doggett among those now openly talking about the party finding another candidate.
This needed to be a decision that was made much earlier in the process, but I remain hopeful that despite all the input from his own staff and perhaps from some family members, that he'll look at these numbers and realize that this is a hill just too high for him to climb and call on someone else.
I actually don't see a path now for President Biden to stay in this race in the long term. I believe that there are stronger options out there for Democrats. We have a stable of folks that I think could do a better job. I believe that another Democrat would have a better shot at beating Trump.
All right, now let's talk about former President Obama. Officially, publicly, he is still in Biden's corner, but privately, he's concerned. According to the Washington Post, which writes this, Obama has long harbored worries about his party defeating Donald Trump in November, repeatedly warning Biden in recent months about how challenging it will be to win re-election. And the White House just made, for this administration, some extraordinary announcements. The president is going to sit down for a one-on-one interview later this week, and pretty soon he's going to actually have a press conference. These are things that this president generally doesn't do, so they are clearly trying to convince Democrats to circle the wagons here. Back to you guys.
And we know that Gavin Newsom, your governor out in Los Angeles, is going to be heading to the White House, and Governor as well as the vice president. So we'll see if they rally around him. Thanks, Doug.
Thanks, Doug.
So we'll see, because people are talking about possible replacements, and then there's the practical side of it. There's a guy with over 1,000 delegates. His name is Joe Biden.
That's right.
And the vice president of the United States, even though she looks better in the head-to-head poll, in this poll with CNN, not in any others, she was trailing by about 6 or 7 points. And who would want to jump in this bifurcated campaign? This is your career too, and if you're in your 40s and you feel as though you're the next generation, why am I going to go pick up the tatters of a campaign and take on a buzzsaw like President Trump, who has never been stronger?
So there's some disagreement on the couch this morning about this. Me and Steve have been talking about it
in the rehearsal.
In the rehearsal, we talked a little bit about.
Yeah, we came in about 3. Right. Heavy pancake makeup on.
Yeah. You mean 3 minutes before?
That's right, 3 minutes
top
before.
Top of the hour.
So,
3 seconds.
There's a few reasons why I disagree with Steve. Steve thinks he's going to be replaced.
Biden will be. Biden will not be the nominee ultimately.
And I think the reason why that's not going to happen. We always look at the Democrat and their politics and how they operate as if they function like Republicans. They don't. Their party leadership has way more control. I don't believe the 25 report. And if it is true that 25 Dems are going out there and going to say for him, that means Nancy Pelosi has flipped, and that means Hakeem Jeffries has flipped. The second thing is, if he does get removed, there is no ifs, ands, and buts about it. They have to select Kamala Harris. They have to. And if they don't select Kamala Harris, they risk fracturing the whole party. For those reasons, I think Joe is here to stay.
Okay, here's what it comes down to. Did you watch Thursday night? That guy was terrible. He stunk. Yesterday, everybody continued to spin. Well, KJP did. He had one bad night. It's one bad night, but he's got these really good policies. Ultimately, what all these Democrats are starting to do, and these 25 Democrats who Reuters is talking about are those frontline Democrats in purple districts, and their political future is in peril. So rather than back a guy who they feel is going to lose, they're saying, you know what, we're going to write a letter and say, maybe you should take yourself out. Ultimately, what they're trying to do is they're trying to convince him to bow out, because if there's a fight, it's going to be too complicated.
Yeah.
But ultimately, here's what it comes down to. You know, on one of the Sunday shows, Joe Manchin was supposed to be on one of the Sunday shows, and he was going to come out and say, I know I've worked with Joe Biden for decades, but Joe Biden has got to step aside and let somebody else take over. He got the full court press by Chuck Schumer and other top Democrats, and they said, you cannot be you can't do this to Joe. You've been a friend too long. Tammy Baldwin, who is the senator in Wisconsin, Joe Biden is going to her hometown on Friday. Suddenly, she's not going to be there because of his scheduling.
Well, listen, I think that it's just amazingly 4 months before the election, it's too early to tell. And the report of 25 Democrats, it really hinges on the schedule that was released by Karine Jean-Pierre yesterday, where she says he's going to do the interview on ABC. We're going to have a press conference for NATO next week in Washington, D.C. If he has big mistakes during those 2 public events, I don't even think it would be up to Joe Biden and Jill Biden anymore. If there is a tidal wave of Democrats that say, you got to go, they are representing their constituents, the American people, and that will be the determining factor. Incredibly, Joe Biden was at a campaign event in McLean, Virginia yesterday, and he made an admission that will make things even worse for him today. Here's the quote. He said, I decided to travel around the world a couple of times shortly before the debate, and then I almost fell asleep on stage. What he's talking about is going to France for the D-Day anniversary, and also Italy for the G7 summit.
Back and forth.
The last time he was in Europe that trip that he was talking about was 13 days before the debate. He had 2 weeks to recover.
So
he's saying he fell asleep on
So
stage.
there's a couple of things happening. Number one, he's still not telling the truth. He said he almost fell asleep on stage, which is unbelievable, unless you're on some type of cold medicine that should be NyQuil. For you to fall asleep. Number two, it also came out the revelation that when he was doing his rehearsing, he didn't start before 11 and had to take a nap in the afternoon. And that is after his trip, which he chose to go back and forth on, to go to a Juneteenth event, go back and forth, not go to the Ukraine peace summit, but go back to a glitzy fundraiser. What I find offensive is that story in the New York Times where they detail all of his mistakes and the people behind the scenes saying that Joe zones out. He goes catatonic or rigor mortis at a fundraiser. Then they say overseas European ambassadors and officials saying that he seemed out of it, that the president of Italy knew that he was. So now they're telling us, wait a second, did you have this ready to go? You just didn't hit print? Now you want to pretend that you're a reporter? Does this pattern sound familiar? The Russia hoax. They told us this thing was worse than presidents in business with Vladimir Putin. He's here to throw the country to Russia. Then it turns out not to be true. They move on. They have their trophies and they go. Now they're finding out all these things that we've been reporting on. And Jackie Heinrich and your son asking these questions, but isolated. It was like, look at these crazy people asking these questions. Now they're asking the same question. They don't remember that we know that they sat on their hands.
So Jackie goes within the briefing, and she gives them the opportunity. By the way, I think it's totally cowardly to send the press secretary out there. There's nothing that she would have been able to say to defend.
And she never sat with him before going out.
And you know what, Lawrence, we just ran a soundbite with one of the reporters there who had a good point. If the president wants to prove he's okay,
he could just come
down here right now and talk to us. And it's like, can't really do that.
But Steve, the real point was Jackie gave them the opportunity to take back some of the comments. You came at
cheap fakes.
You came at her. You said it was cheap fakes. You said it was misinformation. That, as she said, there was a campaign to attack the president. And now we know all of that stuff was true.
Well, here's the thing. So now Joe Biden at this fundraiser yesterday in Virginia said, I fell asleep because I went back and forth. Why did he go back and forth? The staff said, don't fly back to the United States.
He should be able to do all of it. He's the president of the United States.
But his son Hunter was on trial about that time, so maybe that's why
he didn't go to the trial.
No, I know he didn't, but his wife did. So here's the thing.
On our dollar.
Absolutely. So the president's team says he has a cold. He has a cold. And then yesterday he goes, I was tired.
Yeah. Obama is in his corner, but publicly, but privately, Obama is Obama is only concerned because Obama know that his third term as president is up because he was running the show behind closed doors. Why is it so significant to mention Obama? What about Clinton? What about him? What about Hillary and Bill? What about them being in this corner publicly or privately? But now you're talking about the Democrat parties. Oh, we're now, because y'all, come on. They're not now concerned. They was pissed off that shot did not take place and it didn't kick in right and they needed it to. No, let me stop. I'm joking, folks, when I say shot. I don't know if he really gets those shots or not, but he was a different person during the debate than he was post-debate. But it's a fact that now they're talking about, there need to be another candidate. It can be a stronger Democratic candidate there. But like I told y'all, I'm just making an assumption, but I will not be surprised if they're trying to have just go with me here. If they try to have their very first, go with me, two black women, one as president and one as vice president, woo, that would shake things up, wouldn't it, guys? Obama get to have 5 terms because this was his 3rd term right here. Messing with y'all. Michelle Obama come out of the woodworks. I know that I said that I wasn't going to run, but when I seen what was going on with Joe Biden, and there's no way I'm going to let Trump, don't be surprised if something like that happened. And then she might end up having Kamala Harris as her running mate, which Kamala Harris might be pissed because she might not want to be the running mate. She might want to be the woman to be president. But don't be surprised you try to have your first dual women president as presidential candidate Michelle Obama with vice president candidate Kamala Harris, which I don't think they're going to be having that because what I'm hearing from behind closed doors, Kamala's pissed that they not even considering her. They're like, look, she's stupid. Y'all seen some of her stuff? When we think about the passage of significance of time, the passage of significance of time is something that time goes by with passages that makes it so significant. And what do we mean by that? Our children set the stage for that significance to where when the time passes, you get the significance of the passage of time. Because when time goes through that passage, it becomes significant. With those diagrams and those 3 circles. Shut up. Yeah, come on now. But anyway, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised. At the same time, now they're throwing us some dog bones. They're throwing some little bitty breadcrumbs. Perhaps there should be another Democratic person that can get in there because, guys, stop falling for the tricks now. They're not just now concerned about President Biden because of his performance at the debate. He performed poorly when he go and speak in a lot of places. And it's not that they were ignoring it. They were just hoping you did. Come on now. Anyway, y'all, I want to do this video just to give y'all some more clarification on the subject that's going on right now and also on the severity of how scared they are to where now the Democrats like, no, we need to get you out. But again, from what y'all saw in the last video, they're saying that it's too late. So the only way that would happen is that Biden stepped down. But as y'all can see, all those delegates, come on now. Y'all could have been doing that. To me, I don't know, guys, because I always say this. The other side, the ones we call the deep state or whoever they may be, the elites, the ones that are working with spiritual entities, they're always going to want to try to be a step ahead. I will look at this as this was planned. They knew when President Biden won, they knew that it was going to be a setup anyway. They were already 4 years ahead of us for this very moment. So maybe all of us are falling for it. I'm not. Because I told you, I'm not expecting anything, therefore I won't be disappointed. But again, the fact that they know that President Biden has not been there cognitively, they don't want to show his test. They don't want us to hear the audio of his test. Let you know, they know this. They had this thing already pre-planned. And now the question is, what's their move? That's what you need to be looking at. They're not surprised that Biden has been demented and he did poorly. They're not surprised by that. They want you to act like you're surprised by it. They knew that they were going to have to try to put somebody else in the place of him doing this. So a few things can be happening. A few little variables can be happening there. Maybe with this being said, because the Biden dementia kicking in, he's not stepping down. And we're not supporting you. We don't want him to be our main guy. We don't want him to be our guy. We want somebody else. What are they going to do? And what it is that they do, we shouldn't be surprised by it. We shouldn't be surprised. And again, don't be surprised if more stuff come out towards Trump because, again, I know it pissed them off. The Supreme Court handed them a blow that they're not going to like. The Supreme Court handed another blow that I might get into a video later showing you how now they're taking a lot of power away from the FDA, the CDC, yada, yada, peanut butter. Y'all, let me know what y'all think of this whole deal by putting it in the comments below after this video. And please, 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 guys, because I know y'all don't think this is happening. This right here helps. It helps a lot. If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button. It helps pushes it out in the YouTube algorithm. It keeps my content recommended to you, and it keeps YouTube from suppressing this because they don't want intelligent people like myself speaking on matters like this to see through all the bull crap and all the race baiting bull crap they try to pull, and they don't like it, so therefore they don't want you to see it. Double check and make sure that you still are subscribed to my channel. Catch y'all in the next one, all right? I am Ty Smith, modern Renaissance man, hoping and praying that every last one of you have food, shelter, and clothing. And most of all, I pray every last one of you guys are in great health mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. God bless you all through Jesus.